Hey, Team Ashley, how you doing? I'm fully aware of some of the issues with asynchronous collaboration, and I really take that into account when I'm looking through this work. And it's tough, guys. Team Ashley, it is tough. It's tough to get together. I mean, without really having done this before, and there are ways. Just so you guys know, there are really super efficient ways of asynchronous collaboration, teamwork, as it were, with people located in different remote locations. Um, Video meetings and GoToMeeting and screencast recording and things like that are all really super helpful. As a matter of fact, I'd go as far as saying that with today's technology, asynchronous collaboration from members who are located in different geographic locations is every bit as encompassing and robust as a face-to-face meeting. Just takes a little bit of getting used to and a little bit of acclimating yourselves to some current technologies. Which I think, Ashley, I think I asked you this question in discussion board: is should we try to implement that in this class? Or is there just not enough time? I mean, I know everybody's scrambling. We move from project one to the team project quickly. And, let's face it, user prototyping, the nature of the beast is that it starts out with just this series of blending and clashing ideas. So there's no structure as we know it. So sometimes it gets confusing. I'll be the first one to admit that. That's the nature of the beast. And that's the part that I think, really have to reel in as far as teams go, to just get these ideas down quickly. And, it's all a learning process. I think you guys would probably approach this a little bit differently if we were to start this tomorrow and had 2 weeks or 3 weeks to complete it. I really do think that some things would likely change in terms of the way that you set up and approach the project. So, and I'm not only talking about you, Ashley, I'm talking about the entire team, all of the teammates in Team Ashley I'm referring to here. So, okay, let's go ahead and take a look. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to take a look at what you have submitted for Wednesday and then for Sunday. So theoretically, there is no, I know that the due dates are a little bit kind of confusing in the class, and there are even some conflicting due dates. So I'm going to treat this as if it were due Sunday. So let's go ahead and jump over to see what we have due. Well, I'll go through this, but basically what we need to do was for the critique. We needed to really get these user prototypes in. Um, and we can see we're going to choose one final idea, and then we're going to rapid prototype some mock-ups of that idea. So I didn't see that. I did see some additional posts from Maya over here. And Maya, thank you for including these. A lot of these are duplicate folders. And just one thing I want to mention to Maya and the team is that you never want to submit this many files for presentation. You can take all of these files and assemble them into a multi-page PDF. But whenever you're presenting work, you want to make it as easy as possible for the reviewer or the person who's viewing the work to view the work. You would never want to submit. I mean, there's got to be 15 files here. So each one needs to be opened individually, looked at. Plus, there's no way to compare and contrast with each other. So really, a multi-page PDF is the way to go here. Now, I did look at these, and we've got some. A lot of these are duplicate files. They're named differently, but for example, I think it was 98 and 92 were the same file. No. But 92, let me see. Yeah, there are definitely some duplicate files in here, and I'm just kind of randomly clicking at there are duplicates in here. So this is really, really a confusing submission here. But I do see that there are some attempts to do some rapid prototyping based on the direction you guys are going, which, to be completely honest with you, I'm still a little bit unclear as to what direction you guys are going. Let's jump into the presentation. Okay, now I'm going to be talking about, just give me a few minutes here, guys. It's going to take a minute because I want to talk about I want to talk about the presentation, the design merits of the presentation, as well as the content. So great cover. That's a cool car. Is that car available in the United States? I don't think I've ever seen it. That's cool. I kind of like station wagons, this kind of setup here, this kind of hatchback, I think it's called, because it's really super easy to put your groceries in the back, and then you have two full seats. That's a cool looking car, though. That's a nice cover. Really good continuation of the color from the title to the color of the car. Good job. Really, really good cover. Let's go ahead and jump over. Meet our team. Excellent. Excellent. Let's get a jump over. The problem right now, this image is really ghosted out. It's not full opacity. I would recommend not reducing opacity just to keep it a little more engaging. This is excellent. However, your line length is really, really long. Your character count, remember, optimal character count typography is 49 to 69 characters. That includes spaces and punctuation. So this indicates a need for 2 columns of type. Otherwise, this is fantastic. And then this is great too. This is a little unusual. This is left aligned and this is right aligned. And I know why you did it. It's because this type is on the right side of the page, but let's keep it consistent at left aligned. I think that'll be much, much more appropriate in terms of consistency for the process book. Plus, this is full opacity. These are full opacity, so it doesn't make sense to reduce the opacity down. I would present that. And this one, this is a low res image. You can see, I'm not going to zoom in here, but you can see if you do zoom in, you'll see pixels, little squares indicating a low resolution, low quality image. So I would replace that image. Let's go ahead and look at idea 1. Idea 1 is this self-help kiosk. Idea 2 is the VR goggles with the, now we talked about this, the goggles aren't going to suffice a driving simulation. So basically, let me just, here, let's just go through this. Let's go with idea number 2 and idea number 3. But we jump in here and there's no indication as to what idea you guys are going with. Do you see what I'm saying? Which idea are you pursuing here? We need to know that. Definitely, we need to know that. So let's figure out what, okay, so you got your wireframes. We got personas and scenarios. Excellent. Excellent. Nice big variation in the demographics and the personas and scenarios. That's fantastic. Good job. I see we have 2. Okay, then we have research and competitors. Excellent. And then paper prototype user testing. So there's a lot missing. Yes. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump over here. Now, what I would recommend here is just let's wrap this thing up together. Now, this is the part of prototyping, I think, that really involves some organization. So basically what you can do at this point is you got your 3 ideas, right? Take the best components of each idea and assemble those into one idea. Okay. So for example, let's say there's no reason that you can't design a mobile app. The mobile app would have the same interface as the kiosk in the dealership, right? So this would eliminate the need of having to go to the dealership to set up the configuration, right? You could do that right at home. You could send that configuration, your complete configuration done on a mobile app to the dealership, okay? They would supply you with some kind of a code where you walk into the dealership, so hit your code into the whatever virtual reality headset or whatever, and then there's a projection of your car where you can walk around, see it life size, see the color, the tires, the luggage racks, everything that you have selected, and then you can even look inside and see the color of your interior, et cetera, et cetera. At that point, you could send that information, once you okay that, send that information with the preferences, and configuration of your transmission and the drivetrain and all that stuff to a simulator where you can actually simulate the drive based on your choices. In the simulator, you could even make changes, like you could make the road icy and things like that. Now, I know it's a simulator, and I know that that technology is probably not there yet, but that doesn't matter. We're not going to let current technology impede our creativity, because this quite feasibly could be a realistic test drive. Now, it would never replace the actual physical test drive, but it would at least give you an idea of what the car is like, okay? So, see, as you can see, we're just starting to marry components together for this really deep dive, robust look at the situation and the problem at hand, which is, of course, the way that we are, that's the way we purchase vehicles, being more distributor and manufacturer oriented than human centered. Okay, so we have idea number 1, 2, and 3. So we're not sure which idea you're pursuing at this time. I know we've got these wireframes, but we really need to just we need to complete the story here. Exactly how does this work? Now, keep in mind, you can use the ideas about, okay, so you can, the phone app being the same interface as the app in the showroom kiosk. so that you can go and have your stuff ready there, or you can configure it right there. It doesn't matter. At that point, you can change your configuration. I would add a lot of features, guys, as many as you can to the interface. So for example, you could add a financial calculator, page with a financial calculator determining what the resale value is in X amount of time, so you have an idea of what the car is worth with how many miles and how many years. You could plug in things like your total annual income and what percentage of your income your weekly, or I'm sorry, your monthly income based on your annual income, your monthly income, what percentage of that goes to your car payment and your insurance payment, etc. You could tie this into insurance quotes. All sorts of different things. And that's where we really have to start pushing the creativity here. That, to a very high degree, is going to determine the success of the project, because really, right now, it's just, we're not just shooting for a kiosk, guys. We're shooting for a whole system. Okay. That said, I think we've got a little work to do. So let's. I'll tell you what, Team Ashley, you guys, if you need help, let me know. I can help you. But I just really, guys, I want Ashley, Brandon, Haley, I just really want to reinforce that this week is going to go by fast. I mean, really fast. It's going to spin your head. Right now, it's going to be like that before we're ready to submit and get this graded for contribution to our final project. Okay, so guys, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, clarifications, if I can help at all, please let me do so. Because I really, I think you guys are up to a fantastic start, and I really want this to be a great project for you guys. Okay, trying to think if there's any more design. 3-column grid on the design. I would make sure those are even. Okay, you got 3 columns. The first 2 are wider than the last, and then over here, same thing. Although that's a little bit closer. Then over here, this is a little bit of a broken grid here, so that's okay. You got 2 columns here instead of 1 column. That's good. That's good. That's a nice looking page right there. One thing I might even recommend here is just to move this whole thing down, so you don't have, right now you can align the baseline with the baseline of the type on the right. That's just going to add a little bit of harmony here. Just move that down a little bit. That's called, by the way, that's called a skyscraping, when your baselines are aligned and the top of the columns are staggering. And clotheslining is when the top is aligned and the base and the bottom, the baseline stagger. So you could do one of each. You could take this, pull it up there, and align it with the top of the image, or just align the baselines of the type. That's a widow, by the way, guys. Watch your typography. No typographic widows. There's a widow there. Okay, 2 lines on bullets. The second line, third, and fourth subsequent lines after the first line should be indented to follow the margin and not aligned with the bullet. Now, these are dashes for a bullet. I recommend using a bullet point as opposed to dashes. Those dashes should be hung. That means that the left margin on anything after the first line, those subsequent lines should be aligned with the margin and not with the bullet. As we can see, that throws everything out of alignment there. Okay. Other than that, okay. I think that other than that, I think it's like I said. I think it's a good start. It's just a matter of organization from here, guys. I am over 13 minutes. Didn't want to do that, but you guys know how I start to get long-winded. I start getting into critique, and I stop looking at the clock. So, I'm trying to be as thorough and complete as I can. So that's why these usually take a minute. So I thank you for your patience. Please let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or clarifications, and really let me know quickly if there's any questions and what I can do to help. All right, guys, fantastic. Thank you very much, Team Ashley.